New details on what happened just moments before the fatal movie set shooting involving Alec Baldwin. Affidavits say the actor was practicing cross-drawing the gun from his holster and aiming it at the camera. The gun then went off, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins and injuring the film's director. Cast and crew members say they heard an assistant director yell, "Cold gun," before handing it to Baldwin, meaning it was safe to fire. And two people reportedly handled the weapon before giving it to Baldwin. This is an awful story, Greg. I mean, and the lawyers and the courts will sort through some of the liability issues here. But as things come out dripping that are so, it just gives it even more color and more horror. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's every piece of information paints a truly careless, reckless set. And whoever is in charge of that is usually the producer, and Baldwin's a producer, but they violated some incredibly simple rules that even I learned when I got NRA instruction. You treat every gun as loaded. You don't point it at anyone. That's the bottom line. I learned that within the first 10 minutes. I've been at gun ranges where even if you joke about stuff, they'll throw you out of the gun range. Or if anybody is just, like, if anybody moves a gun, they just literally will pound your arm and tell you to stop it. So what happens in these movie sets is the play acting, nothing is real, always somehow encourages people to deviate from safe handling, right? The gun is like, you watch them, they point guns in stupid ways. An NRA instructor would have nipped this in the bud. The question is, are they ever allowed on movie sets? That's like having a smart conservative on CNN. This is a case where the people that you scorn, if you're in Hollywood, the people you scorn, right? Trump supporters, whatever you want to call them, NRA instructors, actually possess the skills that could help you. It is though, if you're a conservative and you have to stomach the left-wing ideas of your yoga instructor, right? You understand that she's more likely is going to be liberal. Then you should get a real, honest-to-God gun expert. He's probably going to be a Trump supporter. He's probably going to be an NRA instructor. But instead, whoever was in charge of your safety had no clue, no experience, no wisdom, and for that, a woman died.
Should we have, I think you're right, you're probably going to have this kind of training. If you don't have that kind of training, should they just use fake guns in movies from here on out to make sure it doesn't happen?
I mean, I understand the desire to have real guns. And the interesting thing about the storyline in the movie, one of the storylines is that a rancher gets accidentally killed. And so I get it. Like, you want a vintage gun and it's there. And a lot of movie sets use these. This doesn't happen often, obviously, thank goodness. I'm really interested in the liability perspective because, again, you have the personal question, the carelessness, the recklessness, and then the production company. And I think that it could lead to something like what you're saying.
Jesse?
So we have the right to bear arms, but with that right comes great responsibility. Using the gun responsibly. Don't point it at someone. Check it, clear it. Don't carry it around cavalierly. And I understand what the bad Greg was saying on Friday, is that people who are irresponsible with their rights to bear arms shouldn't take away the right to bear arms from those people who use those rights responsibly, like 99.9% of gun owners. That's what people are a little bit upset here with the situation. Baldwin was negligent. The crew was negligent, and a woman died. And a lot of times, if you have an accident, people still do get charged, whether it's negligent homicide, manslaughter, and someone is going to have to investigate all of the things that went wrong. And there were a half a dozen things that went wrong, and there is a strong possibility that he may get charged as the producer and as the shooter.
So you think he's responsible?
I think he has legal exposure.
As the shooter. I don't think...
As a shooter and the producer.
So you think as the shooter, I understand as the producer, but you think the shooter, he has responsibility, even though he was told it was...
Yes,
okay.
I do.
Dagan, what's your thoughts on that?
My prediction, it'll be a civil case and not a criminal one. Criminal, very rare. They're going to get sued into Kingdom Come over this. The production company, even individuals. Criminal won't happen. Twilight Zone case where the filmmakers were taken to court in a criminal case and they were acquitted. It was the death of Vic Morrow and two kids with a helicopter crash. That was kind of the template for criminal lawyers and prosecutors to stay away from that. But this is the armorer's job to make sure that the gun is, not only that the gun is safe, but it's also the job, I was reading a lot on this, for them to stand up to the producers who are gonna cut costs.
Right.
And I was taking this from Greg, but this is a low-budget production. They were trying to cut costs. The cheaper it is, the more money you make when you sell it to like Netflix. And just one more thing on this. They were using non-union labor. The camera guys who were in the labor union walked off. What kind of Alec Baldwin liberal are you? There's going to be a blow-up rat on your next movie set if he ever goes back to one.